Oh, okay. Yep, there we go. Microphone is showing activity. So, hi again, audience. Hello, hello, hello. We are
Hi
back.
guys.
We're back where we had left off with Gigantamax versions of Professor Cypher and Kazimir flying out of the crater, and then Mordecai and Plant Bright making their way out too, achieving a safe distance. And from this point, I mean, it's you can get to that magical safe threshold. You can always try teleporting the inside the wild magic if you wanted to try it. You might get an interesting effect.
I don't want to land somewhere I don't expect. I only have a couple of doses of teleportation circle. Well, I've got 3 doses, but I'm not going to chance it. I am going to...
I'd like to try it, but I'd also like to survive.
Oh.
Yeah, let's survive. Let's actually make it to level 15.
There's always a catch. All right. Okay, so especially as at least 2 of you are 50 feet tall, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some local legends and rumors about seeing giants flying through the sky, or walking along, or doing some combination of the two.
Kazimir had a blue ox.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he does study that Shadowheart technology. Although I guess that means that Kazimir would have the blue ox, so Professor Cypher would have the chainsaw, and we're gonna have to see who wins the woodcutting contest.
I'm not sure what that's a reference to, but moving on.
Paul Bunyan.
Paul Bunyan.
Yeah, Paul Bunyan.
It's so you can make your way over the course of time, and of course you have time to contemplate.
And the tiefling has horns, so it's kind of like a blue ox.
What was the blue ox's name? Was it Tiny?
Babe.
Oh, Babe. That's right, Babe the blue ox. Yeah. All right. And then we have Bright, who's I guess Johnny Appleseed, except you're not Johnny, but whatever. You can still plant apples along the way if you want.
Janie.
Janie Appleseed.
Sure. Okay.
The legends come to life here in Mesotopia. So yeah, you all can travel and reach the safe distance until you're not getting the magical pop rocks feeling in your bodies that is indicating that there's this latent magical manipulation going on. And are you going back to Mesomasca then?
Where are we going, Bright? We're gonna pick up Jaiden and then head to Uct?
Oh no. I don't know what we'll find when we
sound of feasting horn.
When we get to Jaiden either. Yes. I guess one way or another we have to go there to pick up Jaiden.
Yeah.
No matter what we decide to do. Okay, well then we might as well go. I mean, we're on the north side, so we can't really go to Uct anyway. We'd have to teleport through the crater, and that's no good.
Yeah, I don't think I picked up a circle going to Uct, did I?
Oh, there's one in the library. Cypher knows the...
You know the circle to get there to Uct?
Yes, I do.
Can I have a copy?
Of course, I will orate it.
Okay. That's good to know.
I
I have a circle to get back here, actually, as well.
Oh, good.
Should to here?
Well, here's the trade city.
To the trade city, but here to Fallfire. Yeah.
I also have one to the university. Fine.
I mean, why do you have teleportation circles? Do you know how to teleport?
No, but as a researcher of magic and other magic such, it bodes well for me to have them when I come across people who can. Oh,
He can catch a ride.
I can catch.
You know someone who knows how to teleport, then?
I have met people who can.
As in, I know how to teleport.
Well then. That's in.
So if you can copy the sigil into my notebook, that would be fantastic.
Course. And he'll actually pull out a pen.
Are we still 50 feet?
Thinking pen.
It's been a couple days. I will leave it up to each of you if you want to be 50 feet tall, a wraith, or a plant. It's your choice.
I'm kind of enjoying being a plant.
Okay.
This
No, I'm
it'll
good
wear
enough.
off eventually, but for now, I'm liking it.
Walking in the sun is its whole. It feels different. Feels very invigorating.
Rejuvenating.
Yeah.
And Bright, you said you had the circle to the library in Uct, yes?
But it's the same one that Cypher knows.
Oh, it is.
First-
Okay.
Yeah, it would. But after having shrunk back down and regained my corporeal form, I will note in 2 sigil secrets for you. One is for the university and 4 fire plans, and one is for the library and up.
Okay. And where exactly is that university, then? Where does that put us? On the map.
I'll have to load that up for you. I don't have that as a map that is in Roll20, but I'll show you in our downtime.
Okay.
You could just draw a mark on it once you know where it is.
Yeah, I'll confirm that, and I can draw in here too. So.
Because I have a lot of teleportation circles now. So, we can get to Mesomasca, we can get to Uct, and we can get to Fallfire whenever we want, so long as I have the materials.
Sneep.
Good bless you. Perfect. That actually makes traveling really, really easy.
Well, I mean, we don't want to overdo it. Teleporting still isn't safe.
That is true.
No, it's not.
Even the best can get themselves lodged into a wall.
But having a circle kind of makes it easier to land. Doesn't
Kind
it?
of.
I've never tried to do it without a circle, so...
Well, we don't have the spells for that yet.
I could do it in a short range with that.
Well... I don't know that counts, to be fair. So
Oh no, I am not talking about the dimension door. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about things that are even smaller.
Ah. No, I don't know that one. But, yeah. So let's at least go to the Mask of Horns and grab Jaiden. If we decide we go to Uct, then we can go through the library circle.
That we can.
Is it going to be weird that several people who are minimum 5'10" are going to be coming with you to the Ucton library?
I mean, it's not just for gnomes. There are a lot of humans that live in Uct too.
Oh.
So if you're worried that like you'll hit your head on the doors, it's only in the gnome dorm.
Yeah.
Ha!
I can tell you as someone who has been there, the library is a normal size for.
There are just a lot of stepladders and stools.
Yes, lots of step
Very
ladders.
accommodating, I'm sure. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. The library sounds like an interesting place to go at some point, anyway.
Now, there is a question. Maddie,
Yes.
did the library in Pandor have a teleportation circle? And if so, would I know sigils? Considering I had spent a long time in.
Yes. I will say that for things like the universities and the libraries, well, if you're to use them, though, then you would need to be accompanied by Professor Cypher, as you would be
Makes
sort of
sense.
attached to his research. Otherwise, people shouldn't use that for transportation into, the city or to do business. This is for, research purposes and for academic purposes only.
Of course.
So, yep. If you're accompanied by the professor who can vouch for you, you're good.
Oh, Mordecai, pass me your notebook for 1 second. I just remembered, I have one other to...
Alright.
And I'm gonna note down the sigil sequence for the library in Pandor, and label it as such, and hand the note back.
Alright. Well, that just means the travel expenses will only ever be 50 gold.
And prone to availability.
Yes, I imagine so.
But you won't meet skeletons along the way.
I had a really good time.
Yeah.
Won't be able to enter the
You
bone
look
zone.
like you had a good time, so that's good.
Told so many skeleton jokes, and I learned things.
Be able to enter the bone.
Yeah.
Alright.
I learned useful things, but I learned things.
I made a violin that can cast spells.
Yeah, see, that's a useful thing.
I'm actually pretty excited about it.
Fluffy, tiny, snurfle.
Between Bright and Mordecai, can one of you make an investigation at advantage?
Do it.
Go for it. My modifier's butts.
Mine is slightly plus.
13 or 13?
Hey, it's a good thing I didn't have disadvantage.
Yeah, in thinking about it,
That would have been a 13. Yeah.
it's... you're thinking about the interaction with the skeleton that you did meet and the things that you learned about it, and I don't know, there's something tickling your brain, like, there's something else that maybe I could put together. Maybe you have, for all I know. That this is the DM,
Sure.
Right.
But
You remember
there
those crowns
seems
we
to be
had?
something, like, you got a neuron here firing, and you're like, oh, I need the signal, and it's just not arcing from one to the next. But there's something going on. There's a connection that can be made.
You had shared that story that you were talking about with the skeleton to us, right?
Story.
The fact that it's like that he did the thing where he was comparing his face to the coin.
Probably
or whatever.
wouldn't. I probably wouldn't have, actually. Would have told you that he was somebody really important in the past, and that he came with two people that were also like him. And as far as I know, they all got turned into skeletons, but the other two got lost, and now it's just him. But I probably wouldn't have told you that he used to be the emperor, because he wanted me to keep that secret. So I probably won't tell you until I need to.
Isn't it strange that we found the fact that he has 3 companions? Doesn't that remind you of the crowns that we
The
got?
3 crowns, yeah.
I think he was tied to those.
But we lost those.
For all we know, they're still at the tower in Mask of Horns.
Mask of Horns.
If they're not burnt up.
Grayson had 2 of them.
And I know where the third one is. It's in Green Shield.
Yeah.
Jade had one when she... It's probably still at the base of that tree. And
Or
even
in
if we
the
don't
tree.
recover the... Yeah, and even if we don't recover the actual crowns, we might... We could go to the cave where what's his name? The
DJ?
Minotaur guy. DJ, yeah.
DJ.
Where DJ got them. We could go back and look for more information there if we have to.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're deciding what we're doing first.
Mm-hmm.
out of
After
character,
we go in,
I also doubt that that Sunblade is also a
That the Sunblade is what? Repeat that, please.
it's a key.
The key. Yep.
It was a key
Keyblade?
to something.
The Keyblade.
No, it's not. It's not that OP. It's not a moon. The Moonblade is.
but grabbing Jaiden, are we? What are we doing next?
Talk to Jaiden, find out.
I don't.
No,
Yeah.
find out what we've missed.
Yeah,
Make a decision.
see what they've been up to. Didn't been calling them nearly every day, so
Most every day. I mean, I feel like I haven't for a few days, but I meant to.
Well, I guess presuming
Mordecai
like, hey,
made-
we're going to the Wild Magic Zone. I probably won't talk to you till we're out.
Yeah.
And
Sure, I
Mordecai
totally
made
get that.
yeah Mordecai would have kept them up to date.
that's fine. All right, so you're going then to Mesomasca?
Yep, I'm gonna go
Alright.
there because that's the first stop.
All right then. So your teleportation circle will take you back here, and we can have the two groups, fill in details because obviously 20 words at a time at a spell slot is not the most efficient way of communicating. But you can catch back up over a meal. You can see what's been going on at the Wild Cherry. You can see, that there has been progress over the course of the about a month or so. That has been good because most of that was sailing out before going back. And of course the caravan and the walking overland and going back out of the wild magic area. So we're still in summer. We're in late summer. Things are still kind of are very hot. The tower is still very much on fire. It does have a wall around it. It has a lot of metal tubes that are starting to come out of it. The wild cherry's still there, and whatever Jaiden will tell you is whatever Jaiden will end up telling you. But what I do want to let you know is because as we have brought things back around, you have prompts, you have knowledge, you have things to think about. The party's together. I was going to save it and end up going for a double level and say go from 11 to 13, but you all can go to 13. As we took that half step at 12. But you all can go up one more level here, as I was going to give you a bigger leap for all of the things that you were calculating and the prompts that you were uncovering during this time.
Go to 13. Okay. I don't think I ever actually took level 12, so that is still a double level.
Well, there you go, Bright. You get 2 levels.
Oh man,
Okay.
what do I got at 13?
7, that's the fun level.
I have a
Level
7th
seven
level
is-
spell slot. What do I take?
Yep. Level 7 is the most fun level, besides level 3. Or level 5. Where you get fireballs.
That's a good question. What? Hey,
Is this the end of the session? Or
Yeah, as for content, especially because Derek needed to get going. So I mean, we can role play. We can role play through side discussion. There's things that we can say that. Okay, I tell the party this. It's similar to what you were doing, Bright, in terms of the skeleton. But the two groups catch back up. You can make a plan going from there, and of course, since you're all together, I'm sure that there's some sort of spicy, bait I can try casting out there and seeing if any of you want to bite onto it, and if not, I mean, there's plenty of other options. But we can role play through the group getting together and making a decision, and I could probably I could season a choice or two for you as well.
I don't have to go or anything. I just need to get out of my wig and
Oh,
put
it's
my
probably
character
warm,
a little
yeah.
bit.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's not that it's hot, but I need to. I had to rush to get into the game, and I just need to become slightly de-gnomed right now.
Dino.
Right. Oh man, do I take Magnificent Mansion and exchange Tiny Hut out?
Ooh.
I think I want to
Oh.
do.
Probably wouldn't unless there's a good reason to, because that's I mean, a magnificent mansion is cool, but in terms of actual utility compared to tiny hut, how much better is it really?
Not terribly.
But which one's
I'm-
showier?
Yeah, that's.
Mordecai, you want to
I-
live in a hut or a mansion? Come on. Thought you were more fabulous
I
than
can
that.
teleport everywhere I need to go now, so I don't necessarily need to stop anywhere to rest out in the wild. So tiny hut for those instances in which I need to is available.
Oh. See, I'm kind of stuck between three options.
My voice is also hurting me a little bit. Not hurting, but it's just a little bit scratchy. I don't know. I probably am gonna die from coronavirus, so it's okay.
No, don't do it. Stop it.
Nope, you're
Don't
forbidden.
push that on yourself. You stop.
Stop it. Get some help.
There are no level 6 and level 7 spells that I actually like.
Here's the thing. I am currently torn between a couple of different options. One of which I might have to talk to Matty at length about because there are things that have come out recently that are very, very, very on flavor for Cypher that I made.
Oh, is there stuff in the new Matt Mercer book?
Yes, there is.
Ah.
More specifically, it's the Dunaman stuff, the time and gravity.
Oh,
type
yeah.
things. Cypher is a very gravity-oriented, like his 6th level Arcanum
Reverse
is.
gravity
Reverse
is
gravity,
is a level
yeah.
7.
I'm thinking that's probably
That's a
going to
fun
be my
spell.
option if I don't have one of those available. I'm
I'll-
thinking reverse gravity.
I have
yeah.
that book at the house. I haven't gotten a chance to take a look at it yet, but I'll glance through it, and if in particular there's spells you want to have me look at first, then let me know. I'm not intrinsically against it. Just I'm not familiar with
Yeah.
Critical Role or the setting, but I'm gonna presume that the spells themselves aren't necessarily super broken. I mean, some things might lend itself better to the campaign, to the campaign setting. It's sort of like how some people are like, Ravnica is kind of broken because you get all these spells. But at the same time,
yeah.
the Ravnica setting already accounts for that. Everyone has magic in Ravnica, so it
It's
doesn't matter.
much saner
So-
than Ravnica. It has much more in common with Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide than it does with Ravnica.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
the setting is a fairly. I mean, every setting has its own quirks, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah,
but
yeah.
basically, it's a pretty standard fantasy setting, and the spells are in it. There's not that many, more than in Skag, but not as many as Xanathar's. And they focus mostly on like plugging holes where there are spells in the PHB, but they completely suck. So they're basically fixes to make those spells more viable. So I think it's actually a really, really good book, even though most of it is setting material that we're not going to use. But the mechanics that are in it, I basically 100%.
Yeah, I'm open-minded. I'm open-minded to it, and I mean, as long as you're aware, as the adage goes, if the DM allows you to use it, the DM can use it against you too. So
yeah.
Of course.
it's with that as a general disclaimer, I'm fine. I'm open-minded to it, and I'll see what ends up working there for y'all.
Should I take greater
actually,
rest?
never mind. The only one they've got in there for level 7 is the only one in there for level 7. Tether Rest.
Yeah, that's the thing, Mordecai. Now that we don't have a cleric and we don't have any divine magic at all, we don't have a druid, we don't have a paladin.
Yeah, that's why I'm considering greater resto.
We might need that. We might need you to
that.
fill in for that
Yeah.
missing.
I'm gonna be the fake cleric.
I can't do it.
I'm sorry.
I'm attuned to Ouijas now.
You play a cleric on TV.
I have cure wounds, but they rarely use.
If I can make a request though of you, Coffee, for if you do want to take Magnificent Mansion, I'm not opposed to that. I would ask, if you want to slot for it, that's fine too. But I would ask that the tower is addressed before you take that spell.
Oh yeah. Might be.
Simply because
Because it's-
there's a connection because Mr. Halver effectively had a Magnificent Mansion,
Right.
and the tower is where
Figure
Mr.
out how that
Halver's
would work.
was.
Yeah.
So I don't mind if you have it. It would be a personal request from DM to player. I won't stop you from taking it, but for thematic purposes, I think it would be more presentable or fun if you address the tower. I'm not even saying you have to, I don't somehow like beat the tower. But it needs a little bit more development first in some way. I mean, if you all want to rush in and be like, yeah, we're gonna put the fires out, or you want to do something else, that how you do it is will be up to you all. But there is a magnificent mansion that could be available anyway. But I just ask that you wait till the tower is resolved.
Right.
I mean, I think that's better in case you have something in mind, Matty, of we get a summoning spell to summon that as our magnificent mansion, and we end up getting one anyway, so that you haven't wasted a spell taking taking spell.
Don't waste a spell.
Yeah, I think is the idea.
Okay. Then, in that case, I'm gonna take Greater Resto.
I
as
also
a
can't take
spell.
reverse. It is not a warlock spell.
I have
Not a warlock
discovered
that I spelled that I can-
Doesn't a Mystic Arcanum not really
It's-
limit you to
it's-
warlock spells?
No, it's still warlock.
It does,
spell.
yeah.
Like the choices I've got for a level 7 Arcana is Crown of Stars.
That's an interesting spell.
Stars is pretty good.
Crown of Stars, Power Word, Pain.
Is a very powerful debuff, but it's only single target.
Yeah,
Coffee
yeah,
knows
Yeah,
about that
yeah.
one.
Oh, I know that one. Marvo got upped by it.
Etherealness, maybe.
Hey, you got a good dose of that just recently.
That's a grey area. Finger of Death, Force Cage, and a spell that I cannot because it.
Force Cage is good, but we don't have the component for it. Finger of Death kind of blows.
You might be able to have some
So
fun
I'm-
with etherealness because you've already you've tasted that rainbow, and you might be able to play around with it.
Yeah. Actually, Maddie,
Yes.
as it is very much on a flavor thing, would you allow me to take Reverse Gravity as my 7th level Arcana? It is a 7th level spell. It's just simply not on the. It's just simply not on the Warlock list.
I'm not opposed to it. I guess that's just something I'll sit down and think about, or we can have a discussion. I don't want to commit to it right away and then end up, I don't know, either not giving you opportunities for it, or I don't account for something, or that, because I want to make sure that the things that you have, there can't be 24/7 opportunities for every spell that you have to come into play. But, for certainly, Greater Restoration, even lesser, has had roles. In this case, we were talking about etherealness. I even thought, well, if you take etherealness, I'm sure we could do some fun stuff with that, even beyond just the vanilla descriptor of the spell in the book. So I'm not opposed to the reverse gravity at all. I would just want to consider it for the context of the story and the world that we're building together.
Yeah.
Just shoot me a message about it and the other proposed spells you have, and then we can find a way to maybe integrate that or discuss it, or if we have to somehow make a tweak or a condition to something, I'm willing to be open-minded and fair about it.
Yeah, like the only reason I haven't thought about etherealness is for the fact that it basically, when you cast etherealness, it cuts you off from everything going on the physical plane. You can't hear anything. You can't interact with anything, unless it's also on the ethereal plane or can be touched on the ethereal plane, such as ghosts. Which is why I was a bit hesitant in taking that, because the fact that it's basically, I cast etherealness, I'm out of combat whilst it's spell, or I'm out of whatever's going on. Oh, there.
Yep. Well, just shoot me a message about that, because you got to get going for Gathering of Nerds, right? Are you role playing tonight, or are you doing something else?
It is something else. I don't know exactly what it is. It might be Minecraft. It might be tabletop here again. I'll
Okay.
see what's going on.
Okay.
But no, basically the only other spell that is even available, and that would be something I'd have to talk to you about, is Tether Essence. And it's literally just, oh, I pointed two creatures. If they both fail a Constitution save, if one of them succeeds, the spell doesn't even do anything. But if both of them fail, their estimates become linked, and basically it's any damage one takes, the other takes. Any healing one takes, the other takes. I believe it all.
Oh man, this is when spells start getting expensive.
Yep.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
broken my phone.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
It's sad. It
Some
fell on the
compound-
floor on the tile and broke it.
Oh,
Oh
no.
no! That's a sad day.
Yeah, it is. But
Did you have
no,
insurance on it?
No, it's not that new. So it's a cool phone, but it also has it's called an essential phone. And they are awesome, and they're also crappy. But I'm sad that it broke because I was not in the market to replace it.
Hmm.
It just hit the ground in just the wrong way. Alas,
Oh.
I'll stop complaining now.
yeah, I'll have a chat about reverse gravity.
All right. Well, yeah. Sit down, think about it. You have some options.
Hello?
I'm open-minded. Although, for what you end up doing, lethality, if you send up your signal flare, I personally
right,
can't
thanks.
stay up too much longer. So
Yep.
if you're fine, I'm gonna find someone. We're gonna go raid. But then
Yep,
put your signal flare when you all go live. So
Yeah. No, make sure that.
okay. So yep. And then level up to 13, and we'll have a discussion. And then next Tuesday, let's kick back in, and we're going to engage our gears in continuing to advance the story. And I do want to point out also that if you all do have questions about the story or about something along the lines, please do ask, because if it's something that has already come up and maybe you just forgot about it or something along those lines, you can always ask me. And if it's something that would be new, then I'll tell you I really can't say because we haven't explored that yet. But if it's something that we've explored, or there's a reasonable way that you would make a connection, I'm fine making sure that the dots that the dots at least have a little, like, a dotted pattern between them, if not outright connecting them. That way, it'll help you with your decision making, or with things that are going on, because you were having an awesome conversation earlier, because why are the Shadowheart coming back? What do they want? They're not here to try and kill people, at least not overtly. They're not here like trying to take over gold mines or something along those lines. So they're expending resources. They're traveling. They're bringing stuff down here. What do they want? And then, of course, with the timeline of things that have happened in Mesotopia broadly, let alone Mesomasca, there might be timeline questions there. There might be why was it? And I think this is something that was brought up with you, Coffee Cat. Why would Shonaroth not like the Fae, or not like the undead? Vampires in particular. What would cause that, or what's the nature of Shonaroth? Because several opportunities, as Kazimir had presented to you, Shonaroth was acting maybe like an animal, or even like a plant. You can even take Bright's account from being a plant in that explanation, to try and find out more about what this entity is. And because everything is happening for a reason. I'm not having to pull stuff out of my butt for the sake of just tell them something and hope that it'll stick. Like this, everything is moving towards something. and how you insinuate yourself into the story, you know, there are things that only you can do. And you could choose to go to the front line in Islandia and try and break, not that there's been like any other trading partners up that way, but maybe you want to bust up the barricade that the Shadowhar have put out there in the desert. Maybe you want to, maybe you want to try and explore something, or I don't know, take research in a particular direction. There's the Burning Tower, and some other things there too. And so if you think about a direction, you're like, what was that thing again? Can you tell us about, what would we know about the circumstances around this person or this thing? I'd be happy to answer those questions. I just don't know what you need to know until you ask. And it's not cheating or anything. It's not. And I'm saying that to provide, cover fire. I don't want any of you to think that somehow I thought that was what the case. But if there's something in mind, because the story's going on as I'm presenting, and I want you to feel empowered and not feel lost. Because yes, it is a big wide world. You are all parts of that world out there. At the same time, you are movers and shakers. And especially at these levels, you are beginning to be forces to be reckoned with. There's not a lot of people that would be your power level, that would have your level of influence, let alone through raw physical, mental, or magical ability. And so you are quickly finding yourselves in a position, if not of leadership, then at least you can do something, even if people know that you're doing it or not. And, you're not exactly in the army. You could be. In fact, if you joined up with an army, you'd probably, be, leaders, or a special squad, or someone who could talk with the higher-ups in that regard. Because you have this power, you have this information. So if you wanted to take it more in a militaristic direction, if you want to take it in something more along, occultism or mysticism, then you could explore this otherworldly entity. If you wanted to go and see what this Burning Tower was about, and go for, what's happening, especially why is this being sort of industrialized? What's happening there? So this is kind of a way for you to, if Mordecai, you want to build Mordecai as someone who's going to find perhaps that leadership or that boldness, that's fine. In the meta, where do you want to step up and become a leader in the region's influence? If you see a problem with the world, is it more important for you to stop Shadowhar's influence? Is it more important for you to stop Shonaroth's influence? Is it more important for you to, or Foster? I don't know. Hey, you want to join with the Shadowhar? I'm sure they'd love to recruit you.
No, I'm sure of that. And
Mordecai, you could probably lead the vampires. If you think about it, you're a vampire. You could probably step up and you're powerful. You're charismatic. You might even insinuate yourself into the vampire community and want to lead them. And what would you do in that case?
Mordecai, I think, has solidified himself in that he does not want... If the Shadowhar wants to come into Mesomasca as a point of trade, as a point of culture exchange, things of that sort, that's fine. As long as they don't try to start and enslave people, and don't erase Mesomascan culture. That's not what he wants. But that's also not, like, super pressing right this second, because it seems like Ucton people are a little bit more in danger.
They are being converted over into flesh things, yes.
And then you have Mesomascan people being turned into vampires.
Yes, that is
and
true.
And then you have... The Fey influence, at the very least, is no longer present in Mesomasca, because we dealt with that. At least as a major entity. But, yeah. It's a tough thing, because Mesomasca is his home and Uct is Bright's home.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not gonna turn his back on her. She's the only one left.
Step back even further, is there a common source of woe that could address all these problems if you address it?
Possibly is the Sugaruth influence. It's possibly, it like, I don't know. It's kind of convoluted. I'm gonna be honest.
That's fine.
I'm having so much trouble trying to figure out who's doing what and what influence is tied to what, and I have this problem in Vampire too. It's what's the root cause?
Mm-hmm.
The root cause is not evident at this point. It's not blatantly obvious, and I'm not smart enough to put it together. I know that for a fact.
Well, just know that if you have questions, you can always ask them. Because that's not so much a thing that's on you. That is on me as the, I was about to say the storyteller, but as the dungeon master.
Yeah.
To make sure that
No fuzzball.
to make sure that there are opportunities. If I'm not presenting it in a way that's understandable, because things could get complex, and that's fine, that happens. If at least there's the opportunity to step back and say, well, I want to engage with the story, but you know what, I'm missing something, and so help me fill in the gap, and that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, I think with so much going on, and so much, because I don't know what the big bad is at this point, and we're level 13.
Mm-hmm.
What is the big bad?
Yeah, what is it?
That is my question, because Mordecai in and out of character. Me as Copycat and Mordecai as in character is not sure where to go. Lost. I don't know what to do, what to address, what's dire, what's the thing. That's just me. Half-Life.
Maybe
I agree. But I don't. It doesn't bother me as much. I guess. I mean, I am willing to trust that we will always have something to do. Right now, we have two big things to do, and we could do either of them.
We could.
So I'm
It's just
satisfied
a
with
matter
that.
of addressing which one we do.
yes. And know, and you know,
I'm
as
okay
players,
with
and
that.
I will know also as a DM, you may not always be able to get to do all the things, which is fine. Because in real life, I mean, 'cause I wish I could do all the things in life, but I can't. So, you know, you do have to make a choice. It may very well be a tough one, and yeah, if you do one instead of the other, there may be a consequence that is different than the one that would have been a consequence anyway if you didn't take the other.
Right.
But with how I'm presenting this, if you choose a solid route forward, you know, you say, well, this is what we're passionate about. This is what would be cool if we influenced, if we took over, if we squashed, if we did whatever. You know, it's all, then take it, you know, rally that force, build up influence, and go from there. And sure, there's opportunity costs all around everywhere else that you're missing out on, but you seized on that one, and so capitalize on it, right? Lean into it, make it yours, because then only you can do that. Only you can then be the leader of whatever you want to do.
Mordecai wants to be a leader.
Well, I mean, maybe not, or if Mordecai wants to be the hero, let's just say you want to be the
He doesn't
hero.
want to be a hero. He doesn't want to be a hero.
What? No, I got to cancel the game then. Oh, jeez. That's what all this was building to.
Game over.
But I don't know. Like you want recognition. Put out the fire in the tower, and the town's gonna be like, "Yay, you did it!" Maybe, I don't know. The fire seems to have some plans, but who knows? Having a giant, you know, furnace in the middle of town might, you know, make more people happy than sad. Might.
It is also summer. It's sweltering.
It is also summer. Yeah, it's pretty hot, even though it's on. You may be on the water, but come on, it's like. You live in Florida, it's still hot even if you're next to the Gulf or to the Atlantic Ocean.
And humid in those
Yeah,
situations.
yeah. There you go. It's not the heat, it's the humidity.
South Texas, y'all.
They're using it to power their air conditioning.
Yeah. But yeah, I think with the fact that we've kind of narrowed it down to two things that we're really kind of looking toward. I don't know what Cypher and Kazimir want, to be honest. Are they just along for the ride? What are you doing?
Casimir's 100% here for the ride.
Okay.
He will leave
Yeah,
when he gets bored.
Cypher's
So
here
long
to
as I
study.
understand this as an out-of-character point, that this is not something I necessarily have to address.
The point is, if you want to put something to Cypher and he sees some research value in it, he's down to help.
Okay.
Cypher's easy. Yeah, he's easy to bait. Just research. Oh, okay.
I think
Money and
I think
influence.
It's like, oh, hey, we want to research how to unlock this thing, but it may kill everyone. Cypher, because of his flaw, would literally be like, yeah, sure, let's find out the answers.
I think Mesomasca has more weight with the party because Kazimir currently lives here. Mordecai and Jaiden are from here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think any of us have stake in Uct at all.
Well,
Except for
Bright
Right.
I know, other than Bright.
Right. Cypher does a little bit because of the gnome, but he has the same stake in Master as he does in Uct. He doesn't have that entire thing of hometown thing because his home place, Fallfire, has been screwed up for literal centuries because of the crater. So he's just learned that all this going on, it's just par for the course at this point. You're just learning what I had to live.
Yeah. And so, as a player,
Mhm.
I kind of want to tackle both, but I don't know if they're connected. So whether or not
I
they're
think-
connected is kind of determines whether or not both are going to happen. It's going to be a choice of one or the other.
That's Cypher's big thing too, is that like if we find out that there's a root cause to everything that's been going on, that there's one thing that's been, it all comes back to this one thing, that'll be the thing that he, because that's where the most learning is. Yeah, as I said, Cypher's like,
Because we haven't even really
Okay.
determined whether or not Shonen Ruth is real, or whether it's a parasite, or what.
yeah, it might be like the Stars, Final Fantasy 15, Parasite. Everyone has.
It could be a parasite on the world. We don't know. Is there a way to know? We don't know.
Following clues and evidence and the breadcrumbs along the trail will eventually lead you to the one dropping them.
Bright could try asking him questions.
I mean, there's a direct route. If
I do have him on speed dial. I prefer not to use that any more than
Yeah,
necessary.
Because that's
But,
staring into the void and having it stare back at you.
I mean,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
to be fair, now that you know, Celine's floating around in the black ice storms of Akanth in the dance macabre, maybe you can ask her some questions, or ask Ouija some questions.
Mordecai asked Ouija's question. She just said, "Do what you want."
I don't think Bright can talk to Ouijas. I think it has to be. I mean, I know she can talk to Shonerith, but Ouijas being an actual deity, that's not really what Contact Other Plane is really intended for. But maybe, you never know.
And with
I mean,
and
Contact
with
Other Plane
Mordecai
gets you
having-
like the divine proxy.
True.
Because
Probably would have an easier time talking to Celine than to Ouijas with that spell. That would be my thought.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna do a spell exchange, since I'm kind of going for the cleric build of Blard at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah.
yeah, well, you hit
would
it.
be-
Yeah, you hit a level. You can swap out a spell.
I can swap a spell. I already took one that I took the one that I definitely wanted.
That's
I'm
good-
trying to
that's-
determine what it is that the next one I want to take is, though, because I think instead of, because I've never really put use to enhanceability,
Oh.
I almost want to say that we kept getting bopped by confusion. Why don't we try to turn that on something else? Why don't we turn it on things and take confusion instead of
Yeah.
enhanceability right now?
Disability
Yeah.
is not a good spell. Confusion is not great, but I think enhanceability is one of the worst ones. Isn't it? I mean,
Enhanceability gives you through
It can be-
concentration advantage on a skill check.
It can on any kind of check related to an ability score.
Yeah. So if I decided
maybe
that
it's better than I thought it was. Am I thinking of something that's... Maybe is there another spell that's like it but sucks? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Skill empowerment.
Yes, that's it. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so enhanced ability is not actually that bad. So forget everything that I said.
It's either that or hold monster.
Ah.
Hold monster level 8.
They're pretty snaky
No,
for
hold
that.
monster.
Oh, that's
level
dominate
5.
monster.
Dominate
Hold monster is yeah.
Oh,
hold monsters.
Kazimir gets a favorite enemy at 13, right?
He does.
Did
No?
it?
Oh no.
It didn't say it on. I didn't look. It up. I
You're
looked it up.
PhD hunter ranger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not doing any of the unearthed arcana or anything like that. You're PhD
Nope.
hunter. Okay.
PHP Hunter. Yeah.
Oh no,
I just looked at
fourth
what
level
roll
spells.
20.
4th level spells.
Yep.
14th is when the next
Oh, okay.
favorite enemy. Although if we're talking spell swapping, there is actually something I would about Matty.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly changing out Sickening Radiant. Either I'm thinking maybe I might change out Sickening Radiance for Gravity Sinkhole. Actually, oh.
Well, yeah. If that's in those other spells, then just make the proposal to me so I can sit down and understand what the spell is and how to how to work with
Yeah.
it.
I'll figure out what I'm actually, because this is one of those levels where there's not a lot. There's not a massive amount if you're not building a warlock who uses a lot of necromancy. Has lots of money for spell component. Force Cage is just
Hold monster is kind of nice
Mm-hmm.
in that if I use it casting it with a 7th level spell slot, I can hold 3 creatures.
yeah, that is.
You've
Many
had
types, it doesn't
fights
have to
where there's been several creatures. I mean, I try and present a breadth to you.
Right.
Monolithic fights, swarm fights, things like that. So hopefully there would be a variety.
It kind of just depends on what you guys think, because I've already taken Greater Resto. Unless you're opening up the cleric list, which I don't think there's anything on the cleric list that's something that
Cleric
I
list to
would
which
want.
level is the question. Like,
Yeah,
if you
I'm
were
not-
to take from the cleric.
To be fair, next level I get more magical secrets, so I'm not worried about that really. There's just not a lot on the bard list that I really want.
Yeah, that is too holding out until those. So wait, what level are you looking at the spell thing?
I have enhance ability. That's the one that I don't really put a whole lot of use into, and so it's because I have the ability to inspire anyway. It seems a little redundant. So take that out and maybe you do another utility spell, like hold monster. But that's also another 5th level spell in a section that only has 2 spell slots.
You're looking at an enhanced second spell. Do you have Loss Arresto?
Yes, I do.
Okay. God. You've got.
We haven't really had much of an instance where we really needed to do anything with additional languages. We haven't really had terribly difficult skill checks where we needed to do something above and beyond inspiring.
Yeah, your bardic inspiration's pretty good for that kind of support.
Song of
I
Rest
mean-
just went up to a D10, so
Oh.
Shatter Zone of.
Shatter was. I mean, I just took a bunch of attack spells with my violin, so
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking for utility spells at this point for my actual spell slots.
Change it out for cat. Or enemies abound?
If I'm gonna do enemies abound, I might as well do confusion. Because I can
Enemies
target
abound
more
is better.
creatures.
Enemies abound tends to be better than.
yeah, I
actually,
think
no,
enemies
it's not.
abound is a little better than confusion too.
Yeah, just because the fact that fusion is
attacks
all
and-
what the dice rolls what it is, whereas enemies abound is just everything's an enemy and you just step back and let that thing just randomly target whatever it is target. Or you could do catnap. Catnap is fun.
Yeah?
Catnap is just basically the benefit of a short rest for 10 minutes versus an hour.
Yeah.
In 10 minutes. Well, I mean, you've got that. If you
That's
want to go,
also a spell slot.
it is. I mean, you've got synaptic static, but you've already got. I
Yep,
think.
I have that.
I think so, yeah.
Let's.
That's how I bizzle bopped. What's his face?
Freedom of movement.
We haven't had much of a need for it.
I mean, greater invisibility, general.
You could have fun. You want to put on a show, get pyrotechnics. Or skywrite.
Yeah, pyrotechnic.
Pyrotechnus is a terrible spell for the level.
It is. It is a terrible. Unfortunate. You've got Adam.
Well,
I have.
I'm gonna have to get going here, so
There's
I'll
always steaming.
I will rate us on Twitch. I mean, you all are certainly welcome to stay up and still talk about it. But for all of you out there, let's go raid Own Dog Games. He is running his ongoing wrestling league. Really good commentator, puts a lot of color and fun into it. But he is also a longtime D&D player, especially in 3rd Ed. So he can talk that talk as well. So I will see you all over there. So I'm sorry to cut it off in lethality. Of course, everyone on our Discord, look for the Gathering of Nerds to put up their signal. Go check them out and what they're doing. Also,
99.9%.
Wolfen, thank you for the follow and also for sharing your fun stories, especially about the teacup Tarrasques. It was great to have you here, and hopefully you'll come back. Remember, this week is our miniature painting 101. We're going to be painting up some minis for folks. It'll be a lot of fun.
So many.
Oh, I know. Oh,
I have so many.
I hope that you enjoyed opening up that package,
I
Coffee.
popped my box and I was like, "This is so many terrain pieces that I have. This is so many new people. This is."
Hello, friends.
Hello, minis collection. I have, not gonna lie, I have spent probably upwards of $600 on minis.
It's
Yeah, same.
it's something. Yeah, same.
It's an addiction. It's an addiction, guys.